To extra depth on the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron.
It's still unknown about the variant. We're seeing swift reactions worldwide. More than 30 countries have already put in travel restrictions. The countries in red on this map, like Japan, China, and Morocco, are closed to all countries. Meanwhile, the yellow ones, including the U.S., are closed to just some.
The news of Omicron isn't just impacting travel. The U.S. is also seeing stocks plummet. Now, if you take a look here, that you can see that today alone, the Dow plunged by 1.86%, the S&P 500 fell 1.9%, and the Nasdaq Composite ended the day down 1.5%. Now, to put things into perspective, I want to compare how those numbers looked compared to the stocks when the Delta variant was introduced and when COVID-19 began. Now, back in July, we can tell you that when the Delta variant began its surge, the Dow fell by 2.1%. The S&P 500 went down by 1.6%, and Nasdaq dropped by 1.1%. Roughly similar numbers to what we're seeing right now, as you can see. But we want to look at the numbers from when the COVID-19 started. They pale in comparison. March 12th, for example, you could see in 2020, the Dow dropped 12.9%, S&P dropped 12%, and very similar numbers for Nasdaq. Look at the graph of the Dow since January of 2020. You can see that big dip. That is in February of 2020, and that is in February of 2020, and you can see that is the period we were talking about, the beginning of the pandemic. Look at what happened after that. You can see the stocks were going up and down, but they eventually rebounded and surpassed where we were before the pandemic. So yes, when something happens that causes fear, the market drops, but as history shows us, it almost always bounces back.
And Steph, you mentioned the word fear, which is how a lot of people feel about this new variant. ABC7's Rachel Phillips spoke with an infectious disease expert and ABC7 medical contributor, Dr. Ogachika Alozie, today. And Rachel, does Dr. Alozie think we should fear Omicron?
Well, Eric, good evening. To put it simply, no. Dr. Alozie told me the reaction to Omicron has well been an overreaction. He said part of the reason we're seeing these, quote, rash decisions is because we're living in a world where people are scared and COVID-19 as a whole has scarred us.
Personally, I'm not worried about Omicron. We don't have enough information yet. So far, it seems as if a lot of the people that have gotten sick have had mild illness, they've been unvaccinated, and they've been younger. So maybe that's protected them. I think it's a wait and see attitude that we have to take.
He also told me, on average, you can't get all of these mutations of the virus that make it both more transmissible and also more lethal. One mutation that we now know to be highly transmissible is the Delta variant. When it first appeared, there was a lot of fear surrounding it too. You saw that with the impact it had on the stocks that Steph just showed you. And Dr. Alozie told me that Delta did live up to the fear that surrounded it, but we're also better prepared now to handle these variants.
We were in a situation in the United States, especially, where we didn't have a lot of people vaccinated. Delta actually pushed a certain population of this country out of fear and potentially protecting themselves to get vaccinated.
Dr. Alozie told me that if you were in any doubt that COVID is over, Omicron proves that it's not, and you should go and get vaccinated and get the booster if you qualify.
The bottom line up front is this: if you got Johnson & Johnson, you're not vaccinated in November, December of 2021, go get another shot. If you got 2 mRNA vaccines, Pfizer or Moderna, and you feel you're at risk, also go get a booster shot. We have more than enough shots in the United States, and it is actually, I think, criminal at this point in time for anybody to come into the hospital sick and dying when we have the answers to keep them out of the hospital.
And to those who are sick of hearing about COVID-19 and the need to get vaccinated and now get your booster, Dr. Alozie has a pretty simple message.
Come take a trip with me to the hospital. Come visit the 30-year-olds and the 40-year-olds that are either unvaccinated or partially vaccinated that are now struggling for their life in the hospital. In November, December of 2021, it's a very different time than it was in January and February of this same year.
Now, Steph, Eric, and so Dr. Alozie and I talked about the future of COVID-19 as a whole. And he told me the virus will continue to mutate and we will probably continue to have to get boosters. And while he doesn't know how often you'll need one just yet, he said the key to protecting yourself against COVID-19 will continue to be the vaccine. For now, reporting live in the newsroom, Rachel Phillips, ABC7.